I can't believe the first week is already over. I'm almost halfway through the goal for this month. Hello everyone, so back for another check-in. This week's video is probably going to be a little shorter than normal, or I guess there really isn't a normal yet, but it's going to be on the shorter side from what I'm aiming for, just because I am actually going out of town at the end of this week. So I am leaving Thursday morning, which is usually my video editing day where I start editing on Thursday and then I finish on Friday. I'm not going to be able to get any footage on Thursday or start editing Thursday night or finish on Friday. And actually, this past video I finished editing Saturday morning. So I really pushed it to the time limit that I set for myself. So if I have to finish editing by Wednesday night, so there's going to be a lot less content in this week's video than previous weeks. So sorry about that. Hopefully we make up for it with some cool footage of the trip. It's not exactly a happy trip, but we'll get some shots of the road, see what we can do there, take you with us. I am so pumped to be starting another week of NaNoWriMo. I can't believe the first week is already over. I finished Act 1 of my book, which is really exciting. Pretty cool that I finished Act 1 in week 1, since I split it up into Act 1, Act 2.1, Act 2.2, and Act 3. So I guess you could call it 4 acts, but it just works out better for me that way because the midpoint is at the end of Act 2.1. I finished with a little over 15,000 words last night, which was really exciting. I can't believe how well this project is going so far, because my last writing project, I think I mentioned in the last video, it was like pulling teeth to get me to write. I couldn't write more than 2, maybe 3 days in a row before I would just be so exhausted, so drained, and I wouldn't be able to get going for another day. But I've written every single day of the last week, and that's awesome. That is so exciting. So I'm hoping to write every day this week as well. Like I said, we're hitting the road on Thursday, so I'm probably not going to get par every single day. Probably not going to hit that 1,600 mark, but I'm hoping to at least get a few hundred words each day so that I can keep up the habit of writing every day. I am loving getting into this main character's voice. It is flowing so naturally for me. It's so much fun. I think she's pretty entertaining. I really love the pace of this book. I think it flows really well. And I really hope that, readers are going to like it as much as I do. Generally speaking, if I'm excited about a book, it usually goes over pretty well, or at least, it has a positive reception, even if it isn't hugely successful. I really enjoyed writing Space Mage, but even though the people who did read it really enjoyed it, not a lot of people read it because it was a genre-bending book series where it had magic and it had sci-fi stuff instead of being distinct. And so anytime you you merge genres like that, it's kind of a risk. It might not go over well. So even though I was excited to write that series, it wasn't a huge success. So I don't know how well Project Feather is going to do. I'm not going to make any crazy bets on it. I'm not setting my expectations too high. But I do hope that the people who will read it are going to enjoy it as much as I'm enjoying writing it. All right, well, it is Monday night, and it is high time I sit down at the computer and get some writing done. Why don't you come along with me? So I wrote for an even 30 minutes and I got 1,724 words. I'm feeling really good about that, and I think it's a good stopping point for the night. I really enjoyed the chapter that I wrote. I feel like I delved pretty deep into some of the emotions of the characters, exploring some of the relationships that are present in the story, and I really enjoyed it. I hope y'all are going to enjoy reading it. So that is day 8 of Camp NaNoWriMo complete, and I will see you again tomorrow for the next update.
Open air, side by side we sway there in all the colors. Summer love, lonesome dove, folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Summer love, remember when we were getting nowhere fast.
Another day of NaNoWriMo, another day of writing complete. I got about 1,825 words in that last session and finished the day at 19,512 words total for the book. So that is awesome. I'm almost halfway through the goal for this month, and it is not yet the halfway point in the month. So that's really exciting. I'm averaging about 1 chapter a day right now, which is not terrible, but it's not quite where I need to be if I want to be able to finish this book by the end of the month. I was really secretly hoping to get the whole book done by the end of the month, but my official goal is just to get 50,000 words of the book written, and then we'll see how long it takes me to finish the book after Camp NaNoWriMo is over. If I want to finish the book at the end of the month, I need to be doing about 2 chapters a day. It's not impossible, but it's a bit of a stretch for me right now. We'll see if I pick up some steam later on in the month. But right now, I'm really happy with the pace that I'm going at, finishing a chapter a day, getting a little under, a little over 2,000 words in a day. So that's really awesome. I'm really excited with the progress that I've made, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here.